One way and another. It's a big 6 weeks here on Box Nation, and we'll get plenty of time later to talk about that. Right now, let's go and rejoin once again our announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the ring from Birmingham, Emmanuel Mussinger.
Emmanuel Mussinger, born in Cameroon, now fighting out of Birmingham. Schooled, and suddenly you're in there against a guy who's winging in punches from all quarters.
Yeah, it's always the way, you know. You get in the ring with a kid who's pretty novice-y and raw, as you're saying, and they'll hit you with shots that it's a good left hook. Tansey just needs to be a bit careful and just stick to his boxing. You know, let Mussinger punch himself out, let him tire himself out, just stick to his boxing. By looking at him, I don't think he's going to keep this up for longer than 2 or 3 rounds anyway.
I remember a few years ago, Paul, back in the day, there was a fellow who used to be a little bit raw and a little bit of a handful, who ultimately went all the way. A man by the name of Dennis Andrews.
Yeah, exactly. And look what he ended up doing. You know, he had a long career as well, didn't he? You know, listen, Nigel Benn was ABA champion, wasn't he? But he was pretty raw himself. Even when he got into the pros in his early few fights, he was still pretty raw, and he had that bit of unpredictability about him. But he was most dangerous when he got hurt, and he got hurt a lot in fights, and then all of a sudden he'd turn it round, and the rest is obviously history with him. But
do you remember that fight against Anthony Logan at the Royal Albert Hall?
No, I don't. I've seen one against pretty recently on KO TV of Kid Milo, all the old repeats that they show, and Dean Powell's in the corner with a full head of hair, so it must have been plenty of years ago. Like.
Well, that is an interesting opening 3 minutes, and Emmanuel Mussinger waving to the crowd, flexing the biceps. He's enjoying every moment, and he had his moments in that first 3.
He did, he certainly did. He landed with some heavy shots. You know, there's a few moments where you're out in the mouth for Warren Tansey, and other than that, he doesn't chip one clean what he doesn't see, because he's certainly heavy-handed. I noticed that from the first few punches that he threw in the first run he threw, and the replays are showing it.
1 or 2 of those swings which went through thin air, just as well they did, but those which did connect, you'd have certainly felt those.
He's a big lad. He looks so much heavier than Tansey as well tonight. You know, I'm not suggesting that he is or not, but he looks really big, muscly. He looks really powerful. That was a lovely left hook. Tansey done very well staying up off that.
You give Mussinger that round?
Probably, yes. Yeah, I'd have to. See, Mussinger doesn't look tired now, when before at the end of the round he started looking tired, the mouth was open, but I think he's just one of those fighters who fights that way with his mouth open, and you know, there is no poker face about him.
Only his second fight, this one. Mussinger lost his debut. And wanting to atone for that and come out like a whirlwind again in this second round.
That's better from Tansey. As I was saying before, he needs to just try and box him, let him punch himself out, make him miss, get out the way, and try and counter with the odd few counters, just to do enough to win the rounds for now, until Mussinger, you know, punches himself out and runs out of steam, which I think he will do.
Tansey's ambition at the moment, stepping up in due course and fighting for an area title. Oh, there's that right hand that caught him.
As you said, John, it's so hard when someone's throwing shots at you that you're just not expecting, and you just don't realise that they can throw them from those angles. And he's so raw, and he's just like a big brute, isn't he? You know, the shots he's letting go, he's smiling at him now, and he's loving it. He seems to be loving every minute of it.
Well, he said he's pursuing a dream, and being out there in a professional fight in front of a crowd, and a pretty decent one as well, and on television, he's enjoying every moment.
Yeah, good on him, and he's having a good round as well. He shaded the first round for me, and I think he's doing enough the first half of this round to do the same again.
He just needs to use his reach and box his way through this. Wild swings again from Mussinger, but a couple of solid body shots in amongst the storm of punches.
I think this should be the time when Tansey should be pushing on and putting his foot on the gas a bit. Mussinger's trying to have a little bit of a rest now. And Tansey should take it to him now and not let him have that rest, not let him recover. If he does enough now, I think he could shade the round himself.
It's certainly not been a case of just touching and letting the odd one go, is it? He's been trying to load up on everything.
I don't care how fit you are, if you're trying to do that, you're not going to last longer than 3 or 4 rounds. Now, with every bit of power into every shot, you know, you'd have to be Superman to do it longer than that. Not even the best fighters can do that.
A bit of gamesmanship, showboating from Mussinger, waving Tansey in. Come on, come in and have a go.
Tansey just needs to keep his head about him like he's doing, keep on the jab and just keep the work rate up just a little bit, just to try and do enough to shade this round, because it's been a close one.
I tell you what, he's a character, this one. He is a character.
He's certainly enjoying it, isn't he? As you said, you know, he's over here, he's trying to fight and he's trying to pursue his dream, and he's doing a great job at it, you know, good on him. He looks like he's enjoying it, he certainly does.
I'm told he's 22, he looks older than that, doesn't he?
He had the same paper round as me, I think, John.
Well, here he is, wading away with throwing everything bar the kitchen sink at Tansey. You reckon he won the first round? He'll win the second as well?
It was a close one. It was really close, that round. I don't know. I don't like giving even rounds, so just for the shots that landed, I think he landed a lot more cleaner shots, so I'm going to give it to him again, yeah, for the first
Heck of a lot there which didn't land.
Oh, there is, yeah, and that'll take its toll this round. I think he may be spent by now, you know, this round he'll probably try and take his foot off the gas to rest a little bit. It's not a 4-rounder, it's a 6-rounder, and maybe that'll just start to dawn on him a little bit now.
Well, they say it's not just sport, it's entertainment, and well, that entertained me.
Yeah, you get your value for money, look, just watching him. He's out again, look. He's straight back at him.
Tansey's got to try and keep his composure.
Definitely, this is exactly what he wants Tansey to do, to keep rushing in and rush in pretty much gung-ho. Tansey's a good boxer, he needs to stand back. Nice shots like that and just try and use his jab and try and make Mussinger miss and then counter.
Last thing he needs to do is lose his rag and get dragged into some sort of fight, which is not his natural inclination. No,
especially against someone who can punch like this kid, because you know, Tansey may disagree. I think this kid can dig.
Tansey getting in and out that time, landing with the body shot and then out of harm's way as the swings came back from Mussinger. Steve Gray, the referee, splitting them.
That's a good shot from Tansey.
Not too much clean coming from Mussinger in this round.
Tansey's having more success at long range as well, and it's back to what I was saying again. You know, not to go on. If he keeps it at long range, gets his jab out, and lets nice right hands go over after the jabs, which he's just done, then he'll have a lot more success. And
did you actually get off the fence in that second round and tell us who won it?
Yeah, I'll give it to Mussinger.
This is much better now, though, from Tansey.
Yeah, this isn't going that way now.
And he's stirred up his supporters in the crowd as well. Mussinger jogging around the ring, but not throwing much as he does so. He's feeling the effects of the pace that he was setting, Mussinger.
Yeah, he is. I think with Tansey could be doing a lot more if he let a few more shots go in combinations. It's too many singles or 1-2s for me. You know, if he let a few more go, right hand followed by a left hook, maybe another right hand. I think that's what Mussinger's open to. I think he's expecting single shots, and he's only used to that level of single shots. I think Tansey, with him being a good kid and having a good pedigree, if he steps up and lets a few go at a time, you know, it's that old saying, punches in bunches. I think that'll work for him in the next round.
Well, the crowd responding to Tansey's efforts in that third, and clearly the best round that he's had in the fight so far.
don't stand there and let him hit you. Keep him missing, keep him that back foot, hit the jab, step back, make him miss you. He's tiring him out, you can't stand with it, yeah? He's not as fit as you, so you've got to keep boxing him. You understand me? Yeah, you stand with him, that's all he's got. You've got to keep boxing him. Step back, make him miss, he's tiring him. Okay? Right?
Exactly what you were saying, Paul.
Yeah, it's good advice, though, regardless of whether I said it or not. That is good advice from Darren McCarrick, and it's exactly what you can see with this kid. The only success that he's having is when he's inside and when he's at short range and letting go, and he's just putting his head down, he's hitting and hoping. Tansey's got a lot more about him than that. If he gets it long and lets the shots go long, but for me it's combinations, that's going to be the key. If he starts letting 2s and 3s go instead of the old single shots and the odd 1-2.
So into the second half of this fight. And Warren Tansey from Middleton, not far out of Manchester, had by far his best round in that third. And if Mussinger did do enough to edge the first two, maybe on work rates, good right hand in there from Tansey, and the local lad coming right back. Reminder coming up next, we've got Ronnie Heffron in the ring, another Manchester favourite, and then the highlight of the night, the title fight, top of the bill, Commonwealth light heavyweight title, Oval Mackenzie defending against Tony Dodson. Mussinger bouncing around, not doing a great deal as he does. he's certainly making me smile.
Yeah, he's loving it. And it must be disheartening or frustrating for Tansey seeing an opponent like that when you think he's tired, when you think he's got nothing left, and then he'll start dancing like that in front of you.
Anybody ever done this sort of thing against you?
I boxed OJ Abrams. He had to go like he was
OJ, now he was a character.
OJ was trying to kiss the ring card girls. I think he kicked Billy Graham in the head as well when he got round by the corner. Billy was shouting. He kicked Billy in the head and told him to shut up. You know, the game needs them characters. If he can stick at this and become a regular on the scene, and the game's crying out for people like him all the time.
OJ could be dangerous as well in a fight when he fancied it.
Oh, he could, yeah, definitely. Used to throw some big one-shots, bombs. He's knocked a few kids out, hasn't he, and upset the apple cart a few times. But it's not too dissimilar to what we're seeing tonight from Mussinger. You know, the power he's got, I think he can punch, and you know, I may be wrong, but I think he can certainly cause an upset somewhere along the line.
And they're suggesting that Tansey isn't hurting him and come in and have a go at my body if you require it. Switch to southpaw. It's good for joke value. I hope this is putting a smile on your face at home. I suppose the purists are going to be saying, well, what's all this about? But
I can see a few boxing purists ringside that have got the same smile on the face as us, so I imagine he's doing it to everyone. That's better than Tansey. He just needs to try and double some of them shots up. He just got caught there as he leaned in, though.
Tansey trying to do what Darren McCarrick has said and just stick to his boxing, not be fazed by what is going on in front of him. Which wasn't a great deal, actually, in that round. It was amusing, but he didn't throw a lot.
No, he didn't do nothing. I think all that, you know, the showboating is trying to get a rest as well and trying to pinch a rest here and there. He looks tired now, sitting in the corner, and you know, he's trying to sort of keep that poker face up, what he's doing, and trying to make Tansey think that he's got plenty of energy and bags of energy, but I think it's wearing off now.
If he really is 22, I'd be astonished.
People used to say that to me when they thought I was 25. They thought I was only about 42.
He got through with those,
yeah,
beat him to the punch there.
Yeah, and Tansey was committed as well, and all his weight over his front foot, and he took it well. If anything's proven tonight, Tansey's proven he's got a good chin, because he doesn't just look like he can punch. I think he can. I really do think he can punch, and Tansey he really needs to step his foot on the gas in these last two rounds, let the combinations go.
to make sure he needs to win these last 2 rounds, Warren Tansey.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sure Dean Powell, the matchmaker, though, will be watching the efforts of Mussinger and thinking, this is somebody I can use again.
Yeah, definitely. He'll be rubbing his hands together. With Tansey, you know, he hasn't thrown any feints in the fight. A little feint wouldn't go amiss with Mussinger, and it definitely brings him on. As soon as he throws a jab, Mussinger's throwing one with him, or he's throwing something with him all the time. Feint, throw that lead hand on, and then come over the top with your own, and try and make it a combination to let your punches go, you know, more than one at a time. He just seems to be throwing too many singles, and it's a bad habit to get into because you get stuck into that habit. They're never really twos and threes in Tansey, and that's what he needs this round more than any.
Mussinger trying to bob inside and throw those great haymaking hooks every time.
It's Mussinger doing to Tansey what should be the other way round, really. He's waiting and he's throwing 2 big bombs, and then he's walking forward, making Tansey miss and throwing 1 or 2 more.
Mussinger now trying to show some defensive skills. Managing to make Tansey miss a fair few. Mussinger feeling the pace now.
He's definitely getting tired, but he's managing to get out the way of shots as well. You know, when he's inside, that's a nice shot. When he's inside, Tansey could be doing a lot more work inside, even though that's Mussinger's territory. He could be doing a lot more work as well. You know, he's taking a few shots on the elbows himself. He needs to come back. Now there, work again there, you know. He's just not seemed to be doing enough work. He's doing a lot of footwork, he's doing a lot of movement with his feet, but not much with his hands.
See a little bit more variety.
Yeah. Just a bit more volume of them, you know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of just the ones and the singles or the twos. It's not through a lack of fitness either with Tansey, because he looks fit, he looks in shape, you know, he's not blowing, he doesn't seem to look tired to me.
If the shoulder problem stopped him sparring, how much of an effect might that have?
Yeah, of course, I forgot all about that. It could have a big effect on him, yeah. It really could if he hasn't
been getting a little lack of sharpness, maybe.
Yeah, a little lack of sharpness, little lack of timing, sharpness, and just a little touch, you know, fitness. It's like footballers with match fitness. You can play 90 minutes on the training field, but when you go onto the pitch to play a full game, it's match fitness, and that's what it's like in the ring. You know, it's fight fitness, and you only get that from sparring.
Harold Graham used to get in the ring, used to go around the nicks and invite anybody who fancied a go to go in there and try and land a punch on him.
Yeah. I'd rather him than me.
Mussinger trying to show that he can be elusive.
This corner must be happy now, because you know, they must be sitting thinking that they've at least got 2 rounds, perhaps a share of another one. You know, it's all to play for in this last round, and I personally didn't think he'd still have this much left in the last round from when he came out, but like Tansey, he's fooled me as well.
The last round was a close one, Paul.
It was very close.
That 5th round, if you've given the first 2 to Mussinger, that 5th round could have an important bearing.
It could, and it's how you score the round. For me, I don't think Tansey did enough in the round, but you know, it's all on how you score the round yourself. I think it's definitely all to play for in this round. And Mussinger's coming out attacking, and he's coming out with pace as well.
He's come out with a fair amount of belief, and he's trying to just work away and go toe-to-toe with Tansey. Sweet science it's not, but it has been entertaining.
It is, and you know, you ask any trainer, and I'm sure my trainer Joe Gallagher would say the same thing now to any kid starting out, having this at this level, fighting a kid who's only had 1 fight and lost it. You know, just don't give him confidence. It's the worst thing you can do. He had his first good round where no one would have stopped him because he was coming to punch that way anyway, but after that round, put it on him. You know, it's another saying of Joe's, you know, you've got to put manners on them, you've got to You've got to let them know who's the boss, and you've got to keep them there.
And he's caught a couple of left hands here as Tansey responded with a decent shot of his own. But there are some heavy blows going in from both corners here. Tansey's supporters trying to get behind him. And still a fair way to go in this last round. That's a good shot. Good right hand from Tansey.
This is where I was saying the last round, that's it. He needs to work here like this now and get it going. Just keep working and keep working. Don't let Mussinger rest.
Mussinger got him with the right hand of his own and another one. Tansey trying to cover up now. Well, that's a push, and the referee having a fairly sharp word with Tansey. Body shots from Tansey. Well, Mussinger, crude he may have been, but he's giving everything in this last round.
He's put up a great effort, and he deserves something from this fight, in my opinion. You know, it's still all to play for there, but I definitely think he deserves something. It's not even, as you say, he's crude, but he's been landing good jabs, and he's been beating Tansey to the jab sometimes. Well, that's a you know, a top amateur at an England schoolboy, an England international as well, and he's beating him to the jab sometimes, and he is awkward and he is crude, but you know, he could have done a little bit more for me, Tansey, just a bit. Now he needs to put his foot on the gas now, Tansey, and just try and make sure, you know, just last little flurry.
Good jab. Oh, good right hand from Mussinger, right on the bell. Now who's got it?
I think it's Mussinger.
The referee
Tansey
has reached across and he's given it to Warren Tansey. Mussinger doesn't like it, the crowd do, but what an entertaining fight, Paul.
Great fight, and you know, you can't really argue with the decision. As I said, I thought Mussinger maybe deserved something. You know, I'd have possibly shaded 3 rounds to him and 3 to Tansey, but they were close rounds, as we said, and you know, it's hard to split them, but he can be very happy with himself. He put a great effort up tonight, and he's a matchmaker's dream.
Well, let's take a look at some of the action from this last round then. And just leading up to the final bell, where Mussinger landed a cracking right hand. A pair of them landing big shots in the last 3 minutes.
So you hit the nail on the head saying about it. He's so crude and he's so raw. You know, he's literally just swinging and just going out there to just try and outwork and just to try and outslug whoever he fights.
Well, there we are. Warren Tansey has got the win that he wanted. And here comes the confirmation of that scoreline now. This is going to be interesting. Let's hear from Mark Burdis.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee, Steve Gray, scores the contest 60 points to 55. The winner in the blue corner from Middleton, Warren Tansey.
Manuel Mussinger shakes his head at that scoring because the referee has not given him a round.
What do we know, John?
Well, that's tough on a lad who gave an awful lot. OK, the cleaner work and the boxing certainly came from Tansey, but Mussinger not to be given a round, that is harsh.
Mr. Bunce, some hilarity at the announcement there of the referee's scorecard. Do you agree, first of all, with the verdict, let alone the score?
You know, you couldn't scream at the verdict. I personally thought that Manny, and we're going to call him Manny, he's got no friends. He's 22 years of age. He's from the Cameroon. He's based in Birmingham.
He's not 22.
We know he's not 22, but that's what we say he is. Listen, I thought he might have nicked it 4-2, but it wasn't like it. A draw would have been a right result. But you know, listen, I respect the referee. He's up there. He's got the crowd. He's got to score it how he sees it at the time. But to not give Manny a round is, and I think Steve will go back and look at it, other judges and referees have gone back and looked at it. I think the referee will take that away and he'll look at it and he'll go, whoo, he could have won a couple of them. I think he could have won it 4-2.
Was that entertaining, or for you purists, irritating?
It was great fun.
Good,
I was
I
saying to
enjoyed
Steve during that, you were sitting there, you were
Yeah.
laughing, you were loving every minute of it.
Brilliant.
And I was saying to Steve, I guarantee in the next few months, someone like Boxing News will go and interview this guy, Emmanuel Mussinger, and do something on him, because we're going to see a lot of him around British
Tell you what,
rings.
let's talk more in just a minute, because I think both guys are ready to talk to us.
Brilliant.
They're with John Walling.
Fantastic.
Yeah, now, I'd say to both of you lads, that was great entertainment. Congratulations on the win. He was a handful, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was just awkward, swinging punches. Had to be careful, like, be calm. Yeah, it was just had to be calm, like, yeah. Stick to your boxing. Yeah, stick to the jab move. But at times, you know, I had to just stand with my hands up, you know, stop the swings. He is awkward, like. So yeah.
But you got the win that he wanted. Paul said as soon as he started and took a look at Emmanuel, he said this fella's heavy-handed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just by looking at him, you can tell that. Yeah.
Paul, Emmanuel, let's just bring you in here. You enjoyed every moment of that, didn't you?
Tu as savouré tous les moments, tous les instants, n'est-ce pas?
Ah oui, it is good fight.
Non, parle en français.
C'est un bon adversaire.
He's a good opponent.
Et puis avec lui, j'ai beaucoup appris.
So with him, you have learned a lot.
Et puis comme tous les jours, on apprend beaucoup.
Like every day, you have to learn every day.
J'ai pas beaucoup de combats, j'ai qu'un seul combat.
So
avec.
You haven't got a lot of fight. You have only one. This is the second.
And he's pursuing a dream, isn't he?
Yeah, que tu es en train de suivre ton rêve, n'est-ce pas?
Ah oui, avec plaisir, avec plaisir.
Yes, with great pleasure.
Et puis j'espère ne pas m'arrêter là.
Say he doesn't want to stop there.
Yeah.
The referee said that you didn't lose a round. Did you think he won a round?
I think I shared the last round. I think he said. So yeah. Was that it?
Yeah, that was the closest round, was the last.
Yeah.
Struggled to give him away that last round.
But a tough boy nevertheless. Where do you go from here? What do you want to achieve this year?
Just the area title, really. That'd be great. You know, take one fight as it comes and put everything into every fight. That's all I can do. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd just like to thank Darren McCarrick and Patrick Ward. Yeah, Darren's works 12-hour shifts and still finds the time to train, mate. Just amazing, honestly. A lot of thanks to Darren.
And Darren was a decent fighter in his own right 10 years gone by.
Yeah.
Paul Smith was telling me that you were actually, prior to Ricky Hatton, you were the last man to go in with Costa Zoo. Last British fella in there, wasn't it?
So they say, I can't remember a lot about it, to be honest. Yeah, I was, yeah. Yeah, I boxed him in the European Championships in 1991, Sweden.
Well done anyway. Well done on the win tonight. And thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the entertainment.
Just something. Je remercie mon coach.
He says, you know, saying thank to the coach. Yes.
Sylvain.
Yeah.
Et puis John, my manager.
You know, he's saying that he's sending his greeting to the coaches. John
puis,
Pegg.
Final question. Is he really 22?
Est-ce que tu as vraiment 22 ans?
Ouais, j'ai 22 ans. Je suis né au Cameroun. Je suis de Switzerland. Je suis de la Suisse.
Yes, he's normally 22. Say he was born in Cameroon, but he's from Switzerland.
Normal 22. That's all right, normal 22.
A normal 22. Well, thank you very much, and thank you guys for the entertainment. Thank you.
Is priceless. He's normally 22.
Brilliant. I was just saying, we're going to see a lot more of this guy in the British rings, and he's going to be fun. We do every so often. A journeyman comes along who you want to go and see, and that guy's it. As I was saying, he's going to get interviewed in the trade paper where he's been. As I said to Steve before, I bet he's been living around Europe for a few years. He's turned up. He's been in Switzerland, but he's normally 22. I mean, I've never heard that before.
And Warren Tansey will take a lot from that fight, because you know Darren McCarrick there, and I respect what he says, and I covered him as a schoolboy when he was only a baby. But you know, I thought there was at least 3 rounds each, or maybe 4 to maybe force
He got to Tansey, didn't he? He irritated him.
No, he was fast, he was powerful, and he was awkward, and he was heavy-handed. Paul was absolutely right. What he was doing was, even if he wasn't catching him clean, he was just cuffing him around the shoulders. He was pushing Tansey around. Tansey would have learnt a lot more from that fight than his previous 8 or 9 fights. That's what you have to understand. He's not a bad fighter, Tansey. Let's get that straight. But tonight, I think he just got manhandled slightly out of it.
What was quite interesting was also he was thanking John Pegg, who's coaching. Yeah. John Pegg's the matchmaker for that fight. So, you know, for Steve Wood...
But he told Woody, he said, this is a heavy-handed kid before you take it. I'm not trying to shaft you. I'm not sending a ringer in. I think he said to him, he's a bit game, he's a bit awkward, but he's heavy-handed. So he warned Woody.
He was great entertainment. When we come back, Ronnie Heffron puts his unbeaten record on the line in that ring tonight. So far, it's 4-8, 1-8.